Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, sorry, I won't be able to share my screen because I'm not using a computer. I won't be able to share my video because I'm not using a computer. I'm using so I have no webcam, but it's fine. We tried to use Telegram. We tried to use Telegram, but I think the network is poor. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just wanted us to have this brief session because I think we're on different time zones. So yesterday when you told me that yesterday when I was telling you that are you free? It was 8 p.m. in Uganda, but there I think it was around 6. So I think you were still busy. It was around 6 or 5. I think you are still busy. So by the time it was 8 in Nigeria, this side it was already coming to midnight. Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
yeah, but we can discuss something slowly. So today we are going to look at psychological levels. I'm going to show you the simple psychological levels, the ones everyone knows. Then I'll show you the advanced way of using them. Then at some point, you should be able to use this with the session we had last time. If you can't hear me, just tell me. I'll repeat the statements because, yeah. So I'm going to show you the psychological levels, how they work. Then I'll show you a strategy of how to use the psychological levels. Yeah. Then starting this week, you're going to start showing me your progress. I don't know how you'll be trading, either swinging, I'm not so sure, but at least you'll be able to show me that, okay, I've added trend lines and psychological levels. And this is what I'm doing, because that's the only way we're going to track our progress. Yeah. So let's begin with, I want to keep your time because you told me you're kind of on time, but we can share something. Yeah. So let me just move this over here. Mhm. Let me share again. All right, just a minute. Screen is coming. So we have always tried to fix time, but I think we are on and off. So, and these 2 weeks I haven't been trading that much, but I'm going to show you psychological levels first on GBPUSD and how they work. Then, with time, the live sessions shall be having, I think every week, I'll be able to show you psychological levels on other pairs like gold. Though I don't trade gold, on they work everywhere. I'll be able to show you that. So let's start. Now, one thing about psychological levels, of course, I learned this from Jeffrey, but I went on to add on other things, other components. Yeah. And that's how I trade this strategy. So, for example, this is GBPUSD. Now, I know you know how to draw psychological levels because you told me at some point you are
Yes.
learning under Geoffrey Benson, but it doesn't refuse us from going through them afresh. Yeah.
Hello?
So they work on all time frames.
Hello?
Yes.
Why not? I mean, that's fine. So, I didn't understand.
All right. So thank you for the dedication, though. Wow. I thought Azan went off. I talked to Azan for 5 extra minutes, but
So I just, yeah, it was just hearing me. It just hearing me talking to so I stepped outside the compound to feed into so I have to come outside for another location entirely. Get a lot of this data.
all right. So anyway,
Anyway,
what
what
we're
we're
going
going
to
to
look
look
at
at
today
today
is
is
something
something
you've
you've
seen
seen
before,
before,
but
but
there's a strategy we are going to add in there, and I hope you understand it better. Yeah. All right. So let me share my screen right now. Let me share screen. All right. So can you see my screen?
yes, I can still see you.
All right. So I was saying, right? Next week you'll be able to show me what you're doing, how you understand what we have been looking at so far. I want you to integrate the psychological levels that I'm going to teach you today, then chart patterns, then trend lines. I know trend lines take a lot of practice, but with time they get so easy. Yeah. So in all these trades we are taking, we are trying to find a way of finding confluence trading, adding up confluences so that we be able to take trades. Now me, I consider around 4 confluences. I'm going to show you psychological levels, trend lines, then at times Fibonacci's, then the chart patterns. Candlesticks are a confirmation. They are not a confluence. They just come after the market is printing what you want. Yeah. Then we also have indicators that I'll show you. I'll show you how to use the TDI. I'll show you how to use the order blocks with signals. It's also a confirmation. I'll show you how to use the Vermunchu Cipher B. It's a very good indicator. Instead of the RSI, I'll show you how to use VWAP. But these are things that I bring in when I'm just looking for confirmations. I don't just bring them when I'm analyzing because it doesn't make sense. I bring them when I'm looking for confirmations. So I know you've looked at psychological levels before. You know how we add them up, but let's just repeat them afresh. Now this is GBPUSD. Yeah. Let's draw the first psychological level. Let's just get a roundup number. Let's get a roundup number on the chart. What I like to do is get the current market price. The current market price is what I focus on. So I click the line there, then I double click in that line to get the coordinates. Yeah, I double click in that line to get the coordinates. Just a second. I don't know why it's not clicking. Let's just give it a few minutes. Let me reload the chart. I think we're having network issue. Okay, I can't double click into the chart. It's going to be so hard for us, but I don't know what's wrong exactly. Wow, this has to be network, but I can. Just a minute. I don't know what's wrong. All right, I think it's a network. So let's find our first psychological level. I double click in, and what I do when I'm finding psychological levels, of course in pairs like BTC USD, that is Bitcoin, you can't do what I'm doing right now. You have to put the exact numbers. But on GBPUSD, all you need are the first 2 decimal points. That is after the decimal point. Let me say here it's 2.5. Once you remove this, it's easy for you to get a psychological level. Yeah, because you just have to click OK, and it's going to find itself. It will add the other zeros by itself. So the more you click in, let's add others. So most times it's 50 pips, right? I know you know this. So it's 50 pips. This has to take 3 decimal points. Remove the last 2, delete, and click add, like that. Let's add more. Double click. This one you remove. You make them 2. You delete that. It comes. Okay. I think I just made a mistake. The next one is going to be 26. 26000. The next one will be 265. 26500. Then let's add down below that. It's going to be 24500. The one below, we're going to end on 2 more. The one below is going to be 2400. Okay. Yeah. So of course you know the action of psychological levels. It's so easy. You can see that the reaction was there. So what I like to do the most is to take the ones with zeros with a lot of water. Yeah, the ones with zeros. If I get any other reason as to why I'm about to take this trade, like right now, if this trade was open, if this market was open, I would be looking for a short. Yeah, I would be looking to short GBPUSD. Why? because I have an M pattern. You add up the chart pattern, you tell the story, yeah? We have this market going down, bouncing off a psychological level. It comes back to a psychological level. And guess what? We have structure there. You add up all these stories to get a trading opportunity. So if this market was down here, what would I be looking for? A discount price. A discount price. And I would be looking for it to come back here. Have we looked at Fibonacci?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you look at it.
I think I'll send you the next video. So right now I'd be looking to short this pair because at some point there is a Fibonacci there. We shall look at that in the next session, but I'm going to share with you the video. The Fibonacci gives you an area of discount for you to short this market. So what do you do when you're analyzing? You look at all these confluences. I have a psychological level there. I have of course there would be a trend line here. You wouldn't jump in on this trade, but you'd wait for the discount of this setup. Let's first remove this. The market would be coming. Of course, right now you would have marked out your zone here like this, yeah? So you wait for the market to come here. And once it drops, you pull up a trend line from the previous high to the current low, to the current lower high. And once you get the first touch, you wait for another touch to give a third touch, and then you sell this market, yeah? So when you're trading with psychological levels, hold 50 to 50 pips. That's for GBPUSD. Reason why: GBPUSD has a past result of moving 50 to 50 pips. For example, you can see that if you had entered here, from here to here 50 pips, from here to here 50 pips. Now, I sent out this signal on Friday and I was aiming for 50 pips up here. But when this market started giving me big candles to the downside, I jumped out. And the first thing, remember this is the setup that I sent out. Was it this or this? I think it was this. Yeah, it was this. When the market started dropping with big momentum, I closed some profits. But shall look at that when we are looking at risk management and trade management. So this was my first take profit at this high. Because I jumped in here and I just wanted, my risk was 5 pips. Here was my take profit at around 30 pips. That's why when it hit 30 pips, I sent it out, 30 pips hit. So it just went and closed on 40 pips and started jumping backwards. Yeah. So I didn't reach the psychological level. Reason being, GBPUSD had overbought. It was in an overbought area. Yeah. We shall learn slowly by slowly. We're not going to rush it. Now, psychological levels 50 to 50 pips, and it also gives you a stop loss and a take profit. Now, for example, this trade, I used a trend line and a psychological level. It's what I want you to do this week. Simply this. Look at this. If you look at the trade setup, the first trade setup that we had on Friday, it was just first touch of the trend line down here, second touch here. I was looking for a third touch. I would have jumped in on this one, but you can see that this was a better one because we had this psychological level and a trend line. And what other thing? We had some sort of a W pattern there. You get? And guess what? Our confirmation is there, this engulfing. Yeah? For the buy. Those were 3 confluences. The other confluences, I won't tell you about them right now, but we are going to look at them. TDI, Cypher B. I'll show you how the Cypher B. This Vermont B plus divergences. And we shall also look at divergences of the TDI. And you can see that this trade is slightly here. We shall look at this. It's used for confirmations. Just. Yeah. Though you can see that this one, it dropped a dot, and we shall look at this. Let me not rush it. So that was the trade for Friday. Trend line, psychological level. My box was here. So those are 2 confluences. 3, W pattern with an engulfing. Enter the trade for that long. Yeah. I risked 5 pips. Now the stop loss was just below the psychological level, just here. Most times I don't tell people that stop loss here, take profit here, because I want everyone to do their own thing. Everyone must learn it. So I risk the smallest pips possible, and I had the 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. Yeah, I'll teach you other ways of cost averaging using the dollar cost average when you're either managing your trade or when you're willing to lose little, or you're not sure of your trade, you just risk slowly by slowly. It's called stacking, but there are like 5 ways of stacking. Yeah, so for this sell setup, I'll take it, of course. Reason being, we have a psychological level there, we have a trend line running through, we have, if you use a Fibonacci, we have a 61.8 Fibonacci retracement zone. Yeah, and we have momentum being driven to the downside. You can see that it broke this area structure, it broke this area like this to the downside, and this is just a retracement. Now a trend line is also an area. I remember telling you this last time. It's an area. You clone that and move it a little bit, you're going to have an area. Yeah, though at times we have to use just one. So just that is simply how you can just adjust trend line. Just trend line, psychological level, trend line, psychological level. Tell the story. Once you have a trend line at psychological level, see if there is a W pattern or M pattern. The next thing you look for is a candlestick. Like that, you just tell the story step by step. This is how I learned. I wouldn't rush that, okay, I've seen, and later on we shall introduce something called order blocks, where you'll be able to know that. You can see that, I didn't want to talk about it, but you can see that there is an order block there. You can see that this indicator gives you an order block, right? And you can just see, are you still on? Yeah, you can just see that the market touched that order block. Now if you are using this indicator, what would you have? You have a psychological level, you have an order block, you have a trend line. You're adding this up, right? It looks interesting. With time, you can even know where the market is going in 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes of analysis, you can be able to anticipate what's going on. But we shall reach there. It's called order blocks with signals, but let's first remove it. We shall reach there with time. Yeah? So, do you still have any other question before we move forward?
Yeah, before we move forward, the different actions. Looking at this trade on Friday.
Yes.
It's as if you went from buy, and the buy broke the high.
Yes.
But it came down and then flashed up and then start selling.
Yes.
In this kind of scenario, what is somebody, because if I had the one, because it has broken that high, I would just assume that
it's going to continue buying.
Like coming back to, yes, it's going to come back to retest and then continue.
Okay, that's what we retailers face mostly. You understand? Because we are used to textbook trading that once a high is broken, meaning the trend has to continue. But most times you won't find it as perfect as it's said in textbooks. You will never find it like that. Because another person who is using indicators may have a hidden divergence there. Of course, I maximized off 2 trade setups. Okay, there's a way I'm going to make it easier. I'm going to try to work on the signals that I share in the private group. Because I don't share take profit, I don't share stop loss. Because most of us are trading different account sizes. Now you may find there's someone in the group called Gmail. Him uses 4 lots and his take profit is 20 pips. Yeah, but he risks around 1 to 3 to 4 to 5 pips. So imagine he's using 4 lots, just 4 lots. So if I send out a stop loss and everyone is following that, some people can blow accounts, some people will gain, some people won't gain anything. So it makes it hard for me. But look at this. Let me just explain what I would do on Friday's trade. Yeah, for I shared 2 setups, right? This week I haven't been trading that much, but let me show you. Let me show you what I mean. can see my screen, right? Now see, this was Friday's setup, this one and this one. Yeah, because the market even gave us a W pattern, and there's a psychological, there's a what? There was a Fibonacci area there, 61.8, meaning we're expecting the market to continue to the upside. But guess what? News came in and of course showed us the direction and stopped exactly here. Yeah. But the first thing I did when I was sending out this setup, this was my take profit. This one, this area here. I didn't talk too much because, in fact, I didn't say anything. But look at this. The market was from here to here. Of course, what are you supposed to do when you're setting a stop loss? We shall look at that, but let me just give you a hint. This were around, to me, they're around 30 pips. This trade was 30 pips for me. Yeah. But look, what are we supposed to do when we're setting a take profit? Make sure your take profit is not above any resistance. That's the first rule. Make sure your take profit is not, that's when you're buying, make sure your take profit is not above any resistance at all. Make sure. But we can avoid that. Sometimes the market comes in with a lot of momentum and breaks like this one. That's when you have the cost averaging system or stacking, and you'll be like, I'm closing out half of my positions. Yeah? And I'm leaving 2 or 3 running, but at break even. That's when you bring in that strategy. Of course, it's hard, but you have to practice. So, imagine with cost averaging, you had 2 positions running from here or from here, right? 2 positions running. You hit your TP1 here because there's a resistance here on the left. This is a very big resistance. You see momentum is large, but you take out some profit. You take out 1 position because you've hit TP1, and you move the stop loss of the remaining position to break even, and you hold it. That saves you a lot, because anything can happen in this market. You can be in a very good trade and something just happens and things escalate. So the first thing you do is make sure no resistance is before you take profit. Never. But you can see that 50 pips are enough for GBPUSD. Look at this. GBP's move began from here. If you've noticed, GBP's move for that morning began from exactly here. Exactly where you see this box. But we jumped in on a much more sure trade. You get what I'm saying? It began from here. Now, if you calculate from here to up here, I'm sure they're around 50 pips. From here to this box, let's calculate how many pips are there. From there to there, they're around 45 to 50 pips. Meaning, GBPUSD had exhausted what we expected to move. It had exhausted that. Of course, someone who jumped in here is telling a different story, because this was just a retracement of the Asian session, then he bought again. Yeah, of which he would have added positions here, because there's a psychological level and there is a Fibonacci area. We shall look at that. Yeah, so look, this guy from here to here, I think it was also 50 pips. Let's calculate from here to up here, 63 pips. That is GBPUSD. Yeah. So, of course, from here, the news that came in is under thrashed us. So, a wise person was supposed to use the break and retest structure here, because the news had already flashed up, down, flashed up, closed below. Most people expected it to go up again, but that did not happen. The next candle was bearish. This was supposed to give us more confirmations that we have to get a retest of that trend line that has been broken. And you can see that the rejections are there. So this trade, I just missed this trade because I wasn't there, but it would have been a very nice trade for me. Yeah, because you can see that the market flashed down, broke this trend line, rejected, but didn't engulf this wick, engulf this bodied candle, meaning sellers became more aggressive than buyers. At that area, you wait for the retest of this trend line, showed you more wicks, sell the market. That's what I'm saying. if this market was still on, I would sell the market, breaking this one. But this would be my first take profit, this psychological level. Yeah. So, any other question? We shall practice it slowly by slowly, slowly by slowly. Even the people, even the people who are in the private group didn't begin like that. Like Harold, there's a guy called Harold. We began together with him. Practice. Though right now I think he has formed a strategy that kind of works with him. It's kind of related to ours, but he just twitched it a little to fit his psychology. Yeah. So that's it. So, any other question? I want next week to practice. At least try to practice something. Where you get stuck, you tell me. We organize a session, and we look through it, discuss about it. Most times I be busy, but at least it can't refuse me from creating time. Yeah. So, any other question?
Question we have actually may not be related to this psychological level and trend line we just treated. It's concerning the Charlie said the 100 trades you're taking.
Oh, for crypto. For crypto.
Yeah, for crypto.
Yes, I've been on it, but I failed to reach some threshold. There's a threshold I failed to beat because I don't know why, but they told me I'm supposed to refer a specific number of people, then I'll be allowed to copy trade. But that hasn't happened yet, but it will come. Don't worry about that. It will come. But then I want to show you something else. Let me just stop this. I want to show you something else.